had in the beginning. Spygate 2. It's hard for me to believe because the advanced scout works for football. Now, all of a sudden, he's doing a job that has no football relation to the matter. I just can't understand this because they say this is Kraft Productions. This Kraft don't care nothing about do your job. When you do this, when you film that sideline, there are only a handful of people that's going to benefit from that. Because my notion is that advanced scouts, you don't really want to tell them what you actually do. You're going to say, hey, he would be sitting up here right now. He'd be watching the Cincinnati Bengals. He'd be watching defensive fronts. He'd be watching secondary. And what he's trying to do is trying to deduce what's going on. If the Patriots, when Cleveland got into this formation, this was the front, this was the defense. But when you have that video, it's kind of like what got the Houston Astros. MLB says, we don't got a problem with you stealing signs. That goes back 150 years since baseball was introduced. Mm-hmm. But when you use video equipment to aid you in doing this, this is where we have a problem. The NFL says, we don't care. Look, people are going to steal signals, people are going to steal whatever. But we just don't want you using video to aid you in this process. Skip, the NFL took their time when they did Bountygate. Mm-hmm. Spend lots and lots of money. Now, I heard Jay Glazer, he said they're looking to wrap this up quickly. Yep. See, my thing is the moment that the NFL security, when they got wind of this, when that Bengals guy called NFL security, they should have done what the FBI did. They should immediately dispense NFL personnel to the Patriots headquarters to make sure there are no tapes that are erased. It's hard for me to believe that this is the first time that they've done this. They've just done it under a different guise because in the beginning, Jenny, they were brazen enough to do it straight from the field, even though the NFL told them not to. Now they do it under the guise, we're doing copy, we're doing pieces that show do your job. This is what I thought it was going to be, and Coach Belichick should be gone at the bare minimum for 1 year, and they should pay a $10 million fine.
At one point last week, you said he should be fired.
He should be fired.
Given his track record.
Yeah, he should be. But at the bare minimum, he got to get what Sean Payton got for Bountygate. That's at the bare minimum. Firing should be to prove, let him know that this will not be tolerated. Because clearly, he didn't learn anything from his first.
Okay. So I would first like to applaud Jay Glazer for acquiring this video and this audio.
Well done.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But for me, this is my 2 cents from where I sit, this video and audio was no more incriminating than what we already knew because I learned nothing new from it above and beyond what had already been reported about the incident in question already. It just confirmed that all the reports were dead solid on with all their inside reporting. Mm-hmm. So to me, and again, I'm in a tricky position here because I've condemned Bill Belichick for so much else that he has done, but in this case, I stand by what I thought, which is this is completely innocent. So all we had here was a videographer who had never, according to the Patriots, been assigned to go on the road before, unwittingly, unknowingly, sort of accidentally violating a league rule that I think is a silly rule because the way he was violating it was to shoot down at the Bengals sideline from behind. So help me out here. If you shoot straight down from the press box at the backs of the coaches who are signaling, how could you glean exactly what they were signaling? Because you can't see it. Their backs are covering the signals because you're shooting it from behind. So they're signaling out on the field here. Well, there's no way you could actually see what the signals are shooting straight down from the press box.
Skip, it doesn't matter. The NFL says you can't do it. Why are you trying to deduce where they can't do anything with it?
But just for the record, Spygate was about the Patriots shooting at field level from their sideline across the field at Eric Mangini's Jets coaches. So you can full on see all the signals and you can just videotape them and take it in at halftime and decipher and marry it up.
Well, Skip, a lot of times when people, first of all, let's be real. When people do hand signals, they're not doing them like this here. Mm-hmm. They're holding their hands up and doing it.
But there's too much here that you can't see. You couldn't get it exactly
then why are they doing it? Why did they do it?
Because he was doing it's as they said it was. It's a piece called Do Your Job on an advanced scout, and they were showing his vantage point, because he's sitting up there trying to do the best he can.
We know his vantage point.
Yeah.
Skip, you don't have to do that. You can tell. What he does is he sits up in the press box behind the opposing team's sideline. And what he's trying to deduce is that he's looking at the defensive backfield. He's trying to understand the fronts and what they're doing and the formation.
And the personnel groups. He's trying to chart the personnel groups in and out.
Yes.
So he's frantically taking notes as it's unfolding.
So let me ask you a question. Guess what would aid that, Jenny? If I got a TV, if I got a copy, if I'm filming the backside of the coaches, because all I need is that. See, I'm not worried about the signals. All I'm doing now is I'm getting the groupings.
Okay,
and
but you can get that with your eye test, right? What's the advantage of this video tape? What's the advantage? I don't see any advantage. I get it's a rule. I told you it's a silly rule because it covers all sorts of videotaping, but the Spygate was from the opposing sideline.
Skip, if you think that man has that kind of recall, that he can remember, okay, they played this is the backfield, this is the front, and this is the personnel grouping. What you're doing when you have copy, take it from a guy that studied 14 years of NFL film. Skip, if film did not help, why the hell we do it so much?
Because you're trying to do plays, not signals.
Skip,
you're looking at the plays.
Skip, trust me. What you try to do, Skip, is that when you look at...
Were you trying to steal signals looking at the game tape?
No, Skip. I'm listening to verbiage. I'm not paying attention. I let Mike, them, and whomever else is trying to deduce what's going on. But I'm trying to hear verbiage. I'm trying to hear when we go up there and win and they yell certain things. And I always go back to 1996. We were playing the San Diego Chargers. They were in San Diego, and Junior Seau, rest his soul. Every time we motioned to a front, we had no idea they would do this. But Junior Seau would say Vegas or Reno. And every time they did that, they went to cover 2. Now, we didn't have this in the entire week. I said, Mike, when we motion to this formation, every time you do it, Junior Seau says Vegas or Reno, I can beat him down the hole. Well, guess what at the end of the game, Jenny? 13 for $156 and 3 touchdowns later. We were down 17-0. We come back and win the game 27-17.
So how did you know that? From the audio, so it was electronically taped.
No, Skip.
Right?
But I'm saying, for me in the game is verbiage. Had Mike and them known through signals, we would have never gotten in that hole because we would have known beforehand.
So you were stealing their signals off the audio of the game tape you were studying?
No. I got it from in the game. Actual game. We're actually in the game.
I'm saying, but it's game tape, but you're using an electronically taped audio to steal signals.
No, Skip. I was not Skip. I'm in the game. I'm in my stance. When TD motion, I would hear Junior say Vegas or Reno. I'm not. But yes, yes. Quarterbacks do use game copy.
You can hear it
because they got the mic.
Should that be illegal? Because you're stealing signals off the game tape.
Skip.
That's the same thing as this is.
Skip, if you want to get the game copy and if you can deduce that, but you don't get the sidelines version of it, Skip. If they were doing nothing wrong, why did they do it?
Because you need B-roll from the scout's vantage point up on the second row of the press box. This is what he's seeing. It makes total sense. It's completely innocent. It's innocent as charged.
Let me tell you something. I was a criminal justice major, and the one thing the judge will always instruct the jury is you're allowed to use common sense. Now, Skip Bayless and others that want to be supportive of this regime that's been caught cheating is to say, well, you couldn't do anything and you can get it from point A to point B. But here's the fact of the matter is, Skip Bayless, advanced scouts work for the football department. Now, it's hard for me to believe that the advanced scout is not going to see the footage and not going to take that information back to Coach Belichick.
I just think it's useless information. B-roll video from up in the press box, what can you glean from it? Not much, if anything. There's no audio to it.
Skip, is that when you watch game tape, there's no audio. Why the hell you think I watch football now with no sound? Because I've been conditioned for 14 years not to hear the sound. That's why it doesn't matter to me what they say. I know what I'm looking for. It doesn't make sense to the average lay person. But I guarantee you, to the coaches, it makes 1,000%.
Okay. Don't accuse me of trying to support Bill Belichick. No one has been hard. I've been way harder on Bill Belichick than you ever thought about being. In my career. I'm the one calling for his job back when it mattered, when he really cheated in Spygate or taping walkthroughs before Super Bowls.
So the question
or
goes...
bugging locker rooms or jamming sideline signals.
This goes to this. During that footage, do you believe that the advanced scout would have looked at that footage that videographer recorded? Do you believe he would have seen the footage?
I don't think it'd be irrelevant to him. He just watched with his eyes. What is there to glean? I'm telling you, shooting it from the back, you got to shoot it from field level. Or let me read this from the Boston Globe. One source, is a New England source, was adamant that Belichick would not risk his legacy in a possible suspension over something as trivial as filming the Bengals sideline, which can easily be done from the stands. That's what I told you last week. Just buy a ticket and take your iPhone in there and shoot it. You can. iPhones are great. That's quality video. And then the Boston Globe goes on to say there was nothing covert about this incident, said the source, who then went on to say, you would not go in wearing a Bruin shirt, put a camera on a tripod in the press box, and hope nobody notices. I told you last week, that's a Saturday Night Live skit to me. It's laughable because it was innocent. He's filming a piece on the advanced scout.
So why is it when someone comes to, and we got this in 2015, they said if you're caught doing something, just say you work with Kraft Productions and you're doing a piece. The very thing that this guy said, that this source is a Patriots guy. Why would you think he would say, well, Bill Belichick, because why would Bill Belichick risk his legacy doing what he did in Spygate? Why would he risk his legacy?
Because he'd gotten away with it for so long.
Exactly.
But that was... Again, that's field-level videotaping of defensive signals. This is from the press box,
Skip.
from the behind.
Skip, there's a lot of things. People always ask the question, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to steal that, Jenny. He didn't have to do that. But people
They're not stealing anything. There's nothing to be gained.